All right, so now a category that I assume a lot of people are curious about. I probably put it too deep in the video, but I just kind of was making up categories as I went, and this is where it landed. The category we're on is best racing surface. Now, when I say that, I mean as far as, not necessarily track prep, but as far as just a smooth surface, well prepped. I like a dry track, so I know that's kind of contrary to what a lot of guys like. But a dry track that still has some moisture, racy, that kind of thing. And so I have 4 on my list. I wanted to make a top 3, but when I realized that 3 of the tracks in my top 3 were all tracks we raced one time this year, I realized that wasn't really fair. And so I wanted to throw in another track that, we raced more than once. So I'll first go over those 3. They're not in any particular order because they were all just great racing surfaces, multi-line, and then we'll go from there. So the first 3 are the top 3: Nevada, Springfield, and RPM Speedway. Springfield, I kind of in the heat, it was kind of multi-lane. I was able to go up high, kind of dive under some people, move around. And then Nevada, we only went to Nevada once this year. I went out for my heat race. I started front row, and I won my heat. And we went out for the feature, and I started front row in the feature. So I didn't have to do a ton of racing. Now, in the feature, we raced door-to-door with Jeff Rigsby for, I don't know, I think it was maybe a 12-lap race. So we raced door-to-door with him for 9 laps. And when I say door-to-door, we're kind of slicing back and forth. Good battle with Jeff Rigsby there. And the track, obviously, if you're racing door-to-door, you're side-by-side. I went inside him a couple times, and I was outside of him. I really wanted the top, but, I was able to go inside of him. My car wasn't really faster. Again, like I said earlier in the video, I didn't really have a good setup down, so anytime I went to the bottom, it pushed real bad, and so I kind of had to be up on the banking to get the car to rotate. But they just had it was a racy track that we were able to race 2 wide, and just had a good racing surface. RPM Speedway, it went crazy dry slick, but I put them on this list because the track, there was not a single bump in the track that I could find. It was smooth. Like, I have never raced on a track that had 0 bumps anywhere in the track. But RPM Speedway did it. So, they're definitely up there as far as that goes in my eyes. It was a smooth track. It was dry slick. I like dry slick, unlike a lot of people, but it was great. Now, the one track that is on my list for best racing surface, I probably should have done a couple of them, but I raced this track 3 times this year, and one time it was a little choppy, but it was more or less it's hard to explain because I've never had a track like it, but where it was kind of choppy, but it was all on the surface. It was all like above the surface, where I wouldn't call it a rough track, but it was really chattery. I don't really know how to explain it, but Beatrice Speedway, again, fast track, fun track. They made my top 3 for favorite tracks to race on. And racing surface wise, man, it's always smooth. You don't have a rutted up track that's, crap that, everybody's complaining about. It seems to hold some moisture. It tends to dry out, but usually you have some moisture way up top, some moisture way down on the bottom. And, it ends up being a racy track where it's wide, there's room to pass. And so of the tracks that we race multiple times, it's probably my favorite.